Officer Gomez. I am going to cram a 2.5-hour presentation into 27.5 minutes. Okay, go. Okay, so I'm Officer Gomez. I started my life as an engineer for Micron. I have a bachelor's degree in electronics engineering technology. One day we were reading the paper and Marine police were hiring for police officers. So I'm like, honey, you ready to be broke? She said, yep, and we were broke. So I went and spent 3 years on patrol. All rookies spend 3 years on patrol about. Night shift is where you get when you're a rookie. You have no bidding power. 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., that's where all the fun people are. Just so you know, that's where you get to fight, chase, kick, scream, everything. Once you go to days, you gotta deal with grouchy soccer moms, not that fun. Right? You can't just pepper spray. So then I was asked to go, after my 3 years on patrol, I went to Lewis and Clark to be the school resource officer there. I spent 2 years at Lewis and Clark as a resource officer. I spent 5 years at Mountain View High School as a resource officer. And now I'm up in Idaho City as a school resource officer. So I K through 12, 300 students in Idaho City. And what I found is all the kids are all the same everywhere. They said Colt made all men equal. Wi-Fi makes most of the kids equal. Just kind of a quick thing to tell you how I got all this information. And again, in some of my other presentations, I go a lot further into depth in these. You can look it up online. Just type in Officer Gomez, like Trump, Obama, Gomez. That's the order of famousness there. When I went to Lewis and Clark, I had strong computer skills, but no social media skills. So what I did is I made a fake account. I friended 20 of the kids there, the most popular kids. They all accepted me within a couple hours. Within about 3 or 4 months, I had 500 kids at my school that were my friends on social media. What that did is that allowed me to see who they were, to talk to them. Not to talk to them, to see how they talked, to see who was being bullied. I could stop fights before they happened. I saw what was important to them. I saw what they were talking about, who they were talking about, and I got to learn the inside brain of teens at a middle school. And a lot of that information is what I'm going to share with you, because after that, I made another fake account to which I started arresting predators. So predators started coming to Meridian thinking they were going to have sex with 13-year-olds. It was my account and one other officer, but I would arrest them. I'd do search warrants on their accounts. I would see what social media they had. I would see what kind of sentences they used to get kids to send them naked pictures, to get kids to meet them for sex. Because even though I arrested a bunch that were on my fakey account, there was always real victims behind those fake accounts, right? There was real people when we got the search warrants. And so now working at the middle schools, I get to talk to these kids every day. And I talk to them. My biggest job is build relationships with the kids, right? And even though I do give them tickets for vaping and alcohol and all that, I still let them know I'm on their team, right? There's going to be consequences. I'm still going to be on their team no matter what. So they come and tell me all kinds of things, even things I don't even want to know, they come and tell me. So we're going to do a little presentation here. It's going to go pretty quick. We'll have some questions afterwards. All of this stuff is on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anything else I can find. But we'll have all the links at the end. Okay, social media. Here's the big question. Does your child control social media, or does social media control them? With a lot of people, social media controls them. In fact, social media controls a lot of adults. Right? You look on any news site, look on the comments below, right? The first 10 comments are okay, but after that, it just gets completely cray-cray. Right? I'm going to come to your house and kill your grandma and eat your dog. Okay, so some of the problems with cell phone. Screen time addiction. I took a bag of lollipops to Mountain View High School. And I said, hey, you show me that you used less than 10 hours of screen time yesterday and you get a lollipop. And everybody thought they used less than 10 hours. But by lunchtime, I'd given out like 2 lollipops. Right? So then at lunchtime, I changed it. Hey, show me less than 15 hours. And still kids had a hard time showing me. That means they're on their phone all day at school, all day at home, all night. They're not getting any sleep. And all you have to do is check their battery. You'll see from the day before, iPhones and Androids, what kind of usage there is. Right? And one of my big safety tips is set a screen time in your house and stick to it, no matter what that is. And you can adjust it as you go. But you have to know, right? You have to know how many hours are they spending. Because 15, 16 hours on social media is just too much. They're not getting an education. They're not doing any of that. Pornography. Your kids are going to see pornography. Right? Well, not mine. I'm not giving them a phone. Guess what? They ride the bus. They go to school. They go to the park. somebody's going to be willing to show them pornography. So you got to have those discussions with your kids much sooner and much more real than what you used to, right? And a lot of it revolves around explaining the difference between pornography they're going to see on the computer and real life relationships, because people, they look at enough pornography, they think that's real life. So then that makes relationships really hard in middle school and high school, like they weren't already that hard. Bullying, get lots of bullying on phones, and I have a whole class on bullying. Seclusion, this is one of the things that drugs do to people, right? You start secluding yourself in your room, you don't want to talk, you start having mood swings, you start being addicted, right? So addicted, I want to say addicted a couple times during this presentation. My term that I use for the kids for addicted is giving up everything for one thing, okay? And I see kids that in 5th and 6th grade, when they don't have their cell phones yet, they're picking up guitars, they're drawing, they're taking photographs, they're hiking, they're going hanging out with their friends. As soon as they get a cell phone, it's like they're on drugs. They give up everything. They don't do that anymore. They put down their guitar. I'm going to do Snapchat. They put down their drawing. I'm going to do TikTok. They put down all these things. I watch it happen right in front of my eyes. And parents, for whatever reason, don't see that. Well, they'll pick it up later, right? I want them to have the freedom to choose. No, let them be bored, right? A lot of parents who come to me, Gomez, what do I tell my kid if they say they're bored? So what? Not my issue. Right? Because when they're bored, that's when they are going to start creating things. That's when they're going to start using the brain to start doing healthy things. Social media is reprogramming values that parents should be giving kids. Okay? I'm going to tell you lots of personal stories. I had a young lady come into my office. She was crying. Gomez is like the 3rd boyfriend this year. I could keep him like 2 or 3 weeks and then they dump me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I asked her, I said, hey, what are your values? What are you worth? What are your family values? She was, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Right? I had some, like I got a dog at home that can tell me, it's hungry and thirsty. What can you do better than my dog? I don't know. Right? So then I assigned her, hey, go home tonight. You're going to marry somebody tomorrow. What kind of characters do you want in them? She brought home like a 3-volume list the next day. But then I said, hey, go into, put a check mark to all the things that you have with those things. Well, then I started asking all kinds of kids, hey, what are you worth? What are your values? What do you believe in? Maybe 1 in 100 kids could tell me. Most kids would give me what social media tells them. Well, I got abortion. I don't think pornography books should be in school. I think men should be on, lots of garbage internet stuff that isn't values. So then a lot of times I'll ask parents, hey, do you have family values? And they'll give me some generic thing. Hey, write them down, put them on your door, make them mean something. And this isn't a kid's issue, this is a parent's issue, this is a family issue. Right? Some of the strongest families I see where the kids are the best, bully-proof, awesome families are the ones that, in this family, this is what we do. In this family, this is what we believe. In this family, this is how we act. We don't see that anymore. Right? Most people on Snapchat. There's going to be lots of scams on social media devices. And earlier, Agent Hart talked about sextortion for boys. And I know a lot of parents are like, I don't think my boy would fall for that. But let me tell you exactly how this scam works, because I hunt it all the time. Okay, so a 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 25-year-old boy gets contacted on social media by a haughty 15-year-old girl. Hey, how you doing? Boys in my classes, I tell them, hey, stranger danger in real life, online should be 1,000 times that because you don't know who you're talking to. How many 13, 14, 15-year-old boys, when the hottie girl comes knocking at Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, whatever the private message, they get contacted by 15-year-old hottie girl, how many are going to say stranger danger? 0. Okay, so then hottie girl's going to start a relationship with this boy. After they've known each other forever, at least 15 minutes, hottie girl says, hey, boy, you're so cute. I can't believe I met you. You're special. I really want to show you how special you are, so I'm going to send you a special picture, and I want you to send me one back. So she sends a topless picture of herself. Says, send me one back. How many boys are going to send one back? Every one of them. Even the ones I've told this story to. That's how bad it is. Then hottie girl will send a full nude of herself. Send me one back. And they do. Well, the next day that boy gets contacted, and it's either father, some fake police agency, hey, that girl was underage that you got pictures of yesterday. If you don't want me to send it to all your Instagram friends list, and they usually send a little video clip of their friends list. And boys, what they'll do is they'll either steal mom's credit card, they'll borrow money, they'll do whatever they can to make that first payment of $500. If you make a payment of $500 the next week, you gotta make another payment, and another payment, and another payment. So if this happens, and it will happen to somebody you know, call the police, right? We can make a stop. I usually send them a picture of me selfie by my police car with some handcuffs and their name written on my hood. We can stop it. And these guys, they're not after, they don't want to send pictures, they just want money. They want money and they're gonna move on. In fact, they actually know, most of them, there's some newbies that don't know this, but if they actually send a picture on Instagram, we can track them down now. Now we have evidence of a crime. Because unfortunately, Snapchat, they actually do delete all the conversations. So when I track them, I can track anybody on Snapchat, wherever they are. Snapchat actually deletes that data, so I have no evidence. So unless the victim got evidence or the suspect has evidence on his phone, I got nothing. But as soon as they send a picture on Instagram, now I got evidence. Right? Because that doesn't delete. And a lot of people know that, except for the new guys just getting into this business. But they're just gonna try it, move on, try it, move on, try it, move on. You have to have these conversations over and over and over again. Look in the news how often it's happening. Get these things. And I tell parents all the time, oh, my son is devastated, he sent a naked picture. Okay, well, tell him it's about money. He was just dumb this way, let's just move on. Let's be smarter. With girls, it happens all the time. An older boy, all they have to say to a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl is, they ask him for nudes, the girl says, no, I can't, it's against this, that, and the other. The boy just says, well, I thought you were more mature than that. Look me up in a couple of years, I'd love to take you to a movie. Over and over and over, they get naked pictures of kids. And I tell the kids, look, you send out a naked picture, it's like getting a tattoo on your forehead. It's gonna last the rest of your life. People can sextort you forever. Even adults, and I tell the kids this, I have adult women that come in. Gomez, we were married for 20 years. 10-year honeymoon, we made an intimate video for just us. Now that we're divorced, he sent it to my co-workers, my parents, my everybody. Sucks for you. Right? Is it illegal? Yeah. But it's gonna happen. Right? If you take a digital video or picture of any kind, it'll last the rest of your life. Just to lighten it up with the kids, I said, look, if you're all about the picture life and you've gotta send pictures, if you wait till you're about 85 and you wanna send naked pictures, okay, you'll be fine. You might get disturbing the peace citation, but that's about it. Okay, kids are bombarded with politics all the time. Right? And there's just garbage politics that are just meaningless. Right? I was telling them, hey, look, all the school board meetings you see around the country, all you see is parents about, books and gender identity and flags and this, that, and the other. There's no parents that are talking about reading, writing, and math. Because we don't even care about that. So if we don't care about that, the kids don't care about that. We've got to get back to reading, writing, and math, and people will be a little busy to be arguing about all the other garbage. Right? We got to do this because these are our kids and these things are mattering a lot. And anybody who's against marijuana, they send their marijuana mob after. If you want to see a cool marijuana mob, watch my Facebook page. When I post anything about marijuana, the marijuana mob comes after me. Right? I was like, hey, 3-year-olds shouldn't, smoke a joint and drive. Like, you don't know that? I'm going to sue you. You're not a doctor. Right? I'm like, I carry a taser. Come at me, bro. But it is that bad. So people are afraid. So now we're not seeing the education in marijuana because they are afraid of that marijuana mob. And that is truer than you can even imagine. Prescription pills. All right, prescription pills are getting bad in the high school level. Norcos, Vicodins, Adderalls. Norcos, kid will go to play football, they get an injury, they get 30 Norcos. They take 10 of them, they can survive. They sell the rest of them $10 a pill. Almost everything is $10 a pill, plus or minus. Well, there's your new Xbox, there's your new, and they can get 2 injuries a season without anybody asking questions. They sell the pills. They crush them up, put them in a Gatorade bottle so they can sip it and share it during class. Adderall's super popular in college because that's what helps them study. Kids at the high school level, when I catch with Adderall, I'm like, hey, why are you taking Adderall? It's not prescribed for you. Well, it helps me focus. You got straight F's, what are we focusing on? Right with prescription pills comes fentanyl. Fentanyl is coming to a school near you and it's going to start killing kids. I just talked to somebody like New Jersey somewhere, the middle school kid overdosed on fentanyl in the bathroom. Here, I think it was a couple years ago, so 2 kids went snowboarding and had some fentanyl and died. Now, I got fentanyl over the summer, searching a car from one of the campers, and there was a little piece of tinfoil up in front of the window, and as I grabbed it, they told me, hey, look, that's fentanyl. So I didn't open it, I did, but I went and gloved up and matched up and opened it. But they said 1 pill was lasting them a week. And so 3 or 4 of them, they have 1 pill in tinfoil, they light up from underneath, and they inhale the smoke with a tubie. But they had the respect for it because they knew what it was. You can't tell by looking at it what it is, and then you pass it on to the next druggie. It's not like they have a system. And that's how people are going to end up dying. Alcohol is the same as it's always been, right? You steal it from your parents, you pour it into something, you fill the rest with water, right? So their 80 proof vodka now became 40 proof vodka. Alcohol is being mixed with a lot of pills. So we're seeing a lot of these problems at parties where somebody comes in to take 3 Norcos, they chase it down with a beer, and ugly things start happening. Things you need to know about. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Okay, so what are your kids doing at school? Are they just getting filled with information, or are they getting lit on fire? Well, we have to have teachers that are excited about this. And it's hard for teachers to get excited these days because they don't get paid nothing, and then they have to deal with crazy parents. Right, so we got to fix some of these things. One of the biggest issues in schools right now is cell phones. I know this because in my school, we went from cell phones last year to no cell phones this year. And it was a beautiful thing. These cell phones out of the school changed our whole school. Now the kids talk to each other more. The teachers engage with the kids more. The parents are appreciative because now at least their kid gets some kind of a break during the school day. Whereas a lot of schools have a no cell phone policy, but it's not enforced. Right, and it's up to the teacher. And a lot of teachers have become accustomed to having a cell phone, so they use the cell phone as a carrot. Hey, do this Google packet after that. You can use your cell phone to do whatever you want till the end of class. So that's, now they've taught the whole class, they haven't had to do anything, they can go surf Amazon. But taking the cell phones out of the school is amazing. Now, if you need an example of the policy, I have it posted on my Facebook page. And we did 2 things. We took cell phones out, and we tightened up our tardy policy. So if you're tardy today, it's lunch detention today, or tomorrow if it's after lunch. That way they're not just going to the bathroom and staying there and going to class late. But it is an amazing change. Next is Chromebooks. Chromebooks, one-on-one Chromebooks from kindergartners on and up, boo. Boo, right? You want to give Chromebooks maybe 11th and 12th graders. But then have a computer lab, right? We don't want them to grow up non-computer, but let's not give them one-on-one. People always think, hey, those Chromebooks are safe, right? Because the school gives them out. No, they're not safe. I run the Go Guardian system that we have up there, me and my 5 teachers, and all we're doing is reacting to the kids. They can get in new hacks, new VPNs every single day. We are just playing the reaction game. Kids can get around all our Chromebook monitors, just like they can get around all your parent monitoring as well. Every one of them. I always tell parents, still install the parent monitoring because I want your kids to know what's important to you. So, we are talking about going to one-on-one Chromebooks with juniors and seniors only. And that's going to be for the kids that can't afford something cooler than a Chromebook. Which there are some, so we'll be happy to give them Chromebooks. Everybody else is going to have a computer lab like they used to. I pull people all the time on the Chromebooks. I don't think any parent likes having those Chromebooks come home with a kindergartner. Parents. School board meetings. It gets ugly. The PTAs have become an anti-teacher, anti-establishment craziness at school board meetings. Right, where I've seen some schools that are very successful because the PTA and the school work together. They have pizza parties. They go do community service around the neighborhood. They build the playground equipment together. And they work hand in hand. Hey, teacher, we know that you're struggling. We know that you have, how can we help? What can we do? How can we come and volunteer? Instead, what happens is everybody sits on their keyboard warrior skills and they attack teachers, they attack schools, they attack everything. Hey, go over there, say hi. Meet people. You know what else that does? It sets a good example for your kids. Right? Sets a great example for your kids because that's who they're watching. And teachers, we're trying to get you more pay. We're trying. Them and police. All right, so if you do not focus on solutions, you will be lost in the problems. And I know a lot of you are looking at me like, oh, let's no more, please. This is rough. Right, so we have to focus on solutions. So what are the solutions to this? It's all in the family, the parents. Right, more activities, more conversations. Family versus social media ratio. So I get parents who go, my daughter turned 13 and I don't even know who she is anymore. Right? My son turned 13, I don't even know who they are anymore. So I always ask parents, what are your family values, right? We talked about this already. But what is the ratio of time that you as a family spend with your kids versus they spend on social media? And if you spend 1 hour for every 20 hours they spend on social media, guess what? You're not raising your kids anymore. What should that ratio be? I don't know. That's going to be your family to decide. But it's math. If they are getting all this flashy, nice programming from social media, it doesn't disagree with them, and they're doing that 20 hours versus 1 hour of family time, guess what? Social media is raising your kids. Increase self-value. So I always tell the kids, when I'm talking to the kids, hey, 2s don't wear 10s and 10s don't wear 2s, where are we at? And I tell them there are 5 in high school. How do we get to a 2? Right? We can, start drugs, alcohol, tobacco, disrespect, being this class late, not taking advantage of awesome education that you have the opportunity for. How do we get to a 10? Music, choir, singing, sports, languages, travel. All of those things will get you to a 10. Right? Because every time I go to a domestic, and I go to plenty of domestics, hey, 2s don't wear 10s, 10s don't wear 2s, where are we at? I've never had somebody, I'm married a 10, and we're here fighting like cats and dogs. It does happen. Nobody's perfect. But things that you should be aware of. I put a big list of things that you can do as a family to improve. And the more time you spend with the family as an example, right? If you're driving in the car and everybody who slows down or doesn't turn signal makes you angry, guess what? Your kids are going to do the same thing. If you stop and help somebody that needs help on the side of the road, guess what? Your kids are going to see that. If you get amped up by Facebook, your kids are going to see that. Right? Now I get the parents that come in and my kid is bullied. How much are you bullied? Well, you can see on their social media they're being bullied as well. Now my wife and I, we take in hard case kids at our house. One of the first rules that the kids get is, in this house we can't be offended by mere mortals. So I tell the kids, you are in control of your thoughts and emotions, and the better you get a handle on your own thoughts and emotions, the less somebody else can get them. But when we take in high-risk kids, we jack up their value as quickly as possible. That means getting their homework done. In fact, homework is by far the easiest way to build up somebody's value, get their homework done. If you don't do your homework, you're going to feel anxious and depressed every time somebody turns an assignment. You're going to feel anxious and depressed for every test. You're going to feel anxious and depressed every time you're in a classroom for an hour and it's not doing you any good. As soon as we get our kids starting to do homework, now they feel in control of their life. They feel like they're worth something. They feel like they've done something. Right? There's a whole bunch of other ways. Let's go out and do charity. Let's go talk to people. Let's go be nice. Let's help people out. These are all easy things. You just have to make up your mind and do them. Easy. Community, same thing. I always advocate for teen centers. We don't have enough teen centers. In fact, I was going to try and start one here in Meridian. The biggest question I got was, how do you keep the riffraff out of the teen centers? No, that's what I want there. In fact, I was going to call it the riffraff center. That's who we need at those things. Right? Parent-teacher associations, neighborhood groups, church, youth groups, parks, community service projects. All these things are great things to do in your neighborhood. And every neighborhood that has this has just a couple of people that push everybody else to do it. And people may not feel like waking up on Saturday and Sunday morning to do these things, but once they do, they're going to feel great about themselves. Once they do it a couple times, and you're honest and sincere about it, it turns into an awesome neighborhood. Awesome neighborhood turns out awesome kids. And everybody can make a difference. Everybody can make a difference. I promise you. All right, so here's all the ways you can contact me if you want. But like I said, just look it up, it'll be there. We're going to put the video of some of this stuff on social media. It'll be on YouTube. And I've been breaking apart my talks into YouTube, some for parents, some for kids. And I give examples of how to talk to kids, how you should talk to kids, how, best things to talk about, things to think about when you're discussing with them. So we are going to do this talk more places. Just look online. I think you need to follow Kelly, follow me. We're going to have posted where we're going to do this. Central District Health is helping us out now, getting us more funding to do more of these parent presentations. So we appreciate them, as well as Kelly, for putting all this on. We are going to take a few minutes now and take some questions up here, but we'll let Kelly explain that.
Let's just do it. Q&A.
All right.
We have
Q&A. How long do we have?
Well, it's 8, so
Math. Because we don't even care about that. So if we don't care about that, the kids don't care about that. We've got to get back to reading, writing, and math, and people be a little busy to be arguing about all the other garbage. Right? We got to do this because these are our kids and these things are mattering a lot. All right, sexualized. Social media is sexualizing kids at a rate that you cannot understand. The minute they start on Roblox, they are starting to be sexualized. Right? Roblox has half-naked characters. They have a lot of people that choose pornography names that they misspell very badly. Right? To these 6, 7, 8-year-olds, you just start seeing these characters for hours and hours and hours a day. Guess what? By the time they get old enough, they are sexualized. And that's what's happening all over. TV. What kind of a TV show can you watch that isn't sexualized, right? I mean, we watch Modern Family and it still has lots of sexual stuff in there. So then we can't be surprised when kids are being very promiscuous, very much into the sexual life because they spend so many hours on it. Worldwide grooming. TikTok is the granddaddy of worldwide grooming. What do I mean by that? So TikTok, the very first challenge on TikTok was the plank challenge. It has a little tune. You start off in push-up position facing the camera. You go to plank. You go to push-up to the tune of the beat. If you do this, you'll get your 28 friends are going to like it. Oh, good job at staying with the beat. Now, if you're a girl and you wear a loose shirt, guess what? You just jumped up to like 300 views. If you wear a loose shirt with no bra, now you're in the tens of 20s, thousands of views. What are we teaching kids? That they're worth their body parts. So any girl starts to see very quickly, if she wants to get likes and get paid, you just got to show more skin. If you're a boy, you got to hit somebody on the head with a shovel. Right? But we do get sexualized. We talked about sextortion. Body part money. So as soon as kids get middle school, right now vaping, we're going to talk a little bit about vaping as we go. Middle school girls want vapes. How do they get vapes? Maybe they buy them. But a lot of times the older boys will give them vapes in exchange for booby pictures. I see on Snapchat all the time, hey, $150 for a zip of marijuana, $130 with a nude, $80 with a sexual favor. So we start this sexualization process. So later on when sex trafficking comes along, it's easy. Right? And now on OnlyFans is basically Instagram, but pay-per-view. You can pay a monthly fee or you can pay a per-view fee. Well, I got lots of kids who are younger than they should be, than 18, and they get people to start a Venmo account, a PayPal account for them, and they put a naked picture of themselves, and they cover it. It's fuzzy until you pay your 20 cents, your 50 cents, whatever it is, to see her completely topless or completely naked. Money starts filling up their Venmo account. So I got 13, 14-year-old girls with thousands of dollars in their PayPal account. Because millions of people around the world have paid just 10, 20, 30 cents to see them, and that's residual income because next month you have new subscribers. Next month you have new people on there. Right? Over and over and over again. So it's so bad now that some of my high school girls, 11th and 12th grade girls, hey, high school diplomas for ugly kids. Because if you're pretty, you can sell your body for money. Right now, one of the biggest viewed videos on TikTok is some pornography actress who makes $40,000 a month on TikTok. And she shows her All the kids like to see that. So there's a ton of desensitization. All right, we're gonna go over the applications real quick. Snapchat, I actually don't have it on here. There is one that's worse than Snapchat, and that's Omegle is worse than Snapchat any day. Omegle is just straight pornography. Basically on Omegle, don't have to sign in. You log into the Omegle website, just omegle.com. It pops up with a random image. You can type, you can talk, you can see. You hit next, it puts you up with a random person in the world. Omegle. Because there's no login, you are anonymous. Well, half of you, when you hit next, it's these old guys who are half naked and masturbating themselves. The other half is like groups of 3 and 4 teenage girls going next and next and next to watch these guys. That's cray. Okay, so Snapchat. Snapchat, a lot of parents don't know this, it has its own pin-coded secret vault. That's for hiding stuff from parents, y'all. It has disappearing messages that disappear automatically. If you grab your kid's phone and say, hey, I'm gonna hold this till you give me your password, the kids will go in the other room, log in on a PC and log you out of that phone. They'll delete everything, then come back and tell you the password. It has live mapping within about 10 feet of where you're at. All kinds of bad things happen on Snapchat. In fact, lately, Snapchat, I get a request from somebody. I have a super clean Snapchat. I have some other not so clean ones, but I have a super clean Snapchat. I get a friend request from somebody. I don't have to open the friend request. But if I click on their chat that they sent me to tell me who they are, it opens up a pornography video that wants to send me to Pornhub or something like that. As soon as I delete that friend request and say ignore, it deletes the video, it deletes everything like it was never there. And that is a spam bot. So it's not a person that's targeting kids, it's just a spam bot. It goes from one address to the next, to the next, to the next. TikTok we talked about TikTok is like the granddaddy of grooming. And you can look on my Facebook page for some other stuff on TikTok. Snapchat and TikTok should be 18 minimum. All applications should be 13 minimum. Right? 16 is better, 18 is best. Right? Oh, mom, my kid's gonna miss out. No, they're not. No, they are not. Roblox. We talked about this earlier. Where do fishermen go to fish? Where the fish are. Roblox is popular for 5 to 12-year-olds. So if you're gonna hunt kids, you're not gonna go on Tinder where you know everybody's 19 or above. You're gonna go on Roblox. But somehow parents think that there's some super special internet police that's gonna keep the creepies from being on Roblox. And I've arrested people personally who have been child predators, and when I do search warrants on their stuff, I see they have 3 or 4 Roblox accounts. It's like, hey dude, you're 52 years old, why do you have a Roblox account? Right, that's crazy. Fortnite addicts people bad. This is the one that we get got 911 calls, right? Because kids like, let me finish this one, let me finish this one, let me finish this one. The parent gets done with it and unplugs it, and the kid starts swinging, tearing apart stuff, breaking glasses, everything. That's where police have to come in and calm that situation down. Until like 3 days later when mom's already given them Fortnite again. OnlyFans, pay-per-view Instagram, we talked about that one. All right, we're gonna move on to drugs real quick. Like I said, this is gonna be a compressed very quick. I don't do drugs, I am drugs. I watch kids over and over and over again. As soon as they start vaping, as soon as they start marijuana, they become that. You know, you watch somebody on meth and heroin, they become that. If you're on any drug, your family's on that drug too. I can't tell you how many parents have called me on the phone begging me to go find their kid and arrest them, whether it's a kid or an adult. Please arrest them so I know they'll be safe tonight and I can get some sleep. That's how bad it is. Please arrest them so I know they're not going to get kidnapped. Please arrest them so I know they're not going to overdose on heroin and fall asleep in the snow and die. Right? That's what we have to deal with when you start relationships with people. You get to know their families. All right, what kind of drugs? All right, in the school right now, vapes by far is the biggest epidemic we have. Right, at Mountain View, I think me and the SRO at Rocky Mountain, we had a bet to see who could get more vapes. And I think we were probably, 50, 60 vapes a semester we could get. That's pretty good. 50 or 60. Right now at my high school with 300, half of the kids are vaping. And I teach classes all around the country. That's about the same numbers everywhere, half. Now let me tell you a little bit about vapes. When I started getting vapes in 2013 from the middle schoolers, they were mods. So you put these 4 batteries in the bottom, and when you inhale and you let out the smoke, it looked like a train. They started making them smaller. And the nicotine level in vapes was 0 to 36 milligrams. And they always said, hey, you start at 36, you can wean your way off of cigarettes by going down to 0 milligrams of nicotine. Nobody does that. Especially not the kids. Well, then we got smaller vapes, and then we got more nicotine in vapes. So in 2015-16, they decided to add salt or sodium to the vape juice. So you go above 36, because at 36 milligrams, it would burn your throat. Once they added the sodium to it, now you can go up to 50. Now you can go up to 60 milligrams of nicotine. Now cigarettes, depending on where you look, about 9 milligrams of nicotine. When you light it and it combusts, you lose a couple milligrams. When it goes through the filter, you lose a couple milligrams. So maybe 4 or 5 milligrams of nicotine. These kids are buying 50 milligram nicotine, 60 milligram nicotines. Okay, so what that's doing is now starting to get kids that have seizures. Because they're smoking these, so you don't get enough sleep. Whatever happens, I'm not a doctor, but they are starting to go into seizures, and then we're starting to see this more and more. The other thing, they become so addicted, they can't make it through a 90-minute class without smoking a vape. So what they do is they take the little ones and they rubber band them in their sleeve, and then during class, right? And now they're almost orderless, smokeless, so they can smoke during class. They can't make it through a class without vaping. And then in my office, I would get somebody, come with my vape broke. I know you got a whole drawer of them. Let me take a hit off one so my head doesn't explode. I don't care, give me the ticket, give me the suspension. Just let me take a hit on your vape, please. Right now, I talk to kids when we bust them for vaping, $74 citation, a week of in-school suspension. I get to talk to the kids. I take them, let's go get a coffee, let's talk. Are you addicted? No, yes you are. 1 in 100 kids is stopping vaping at the start because they don't have any reason. I say, hey, are you going to stop? Why? Well, it's bad for you. Well, cheeseburgers are bad for you. Right? But this nicotine really addicts them bad. And now I'm getting employers who call me on the school, Gomez, you got any seniors that want to work? I don't want any vapors because they just can't go more than 15, 20 minutes without vaping. They're becoming useless. Right? That's a huge problem. Now, addiction, giving up everything for one thing. Vaping has 2 addictions, nicotine and the social addiction. Right? The kids start hanging out with their friends. So when I call a parent and I say, hey, I just caught your kid vaping, after they tell me that they were holding it for somebody else, they're going to say, hey, they're stopping today. I'm like, nope, that's cap. They're not. Because you're asking them to get rid of all their friends and get rid of one of the most addictive things is nicotine. They can't just stop. It's going to take patches. It's going to take gum. It's going to take counseling sessions. It's going to be a battle. But it's a battle that's worth fighting. Right? One of the top choices kids are going to make is going to affect their 40-year-old self always. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco. You pick that, your 40-year-old self is going to know. I promise. So it's a battle worth fighting. So now about half the vapes I'm getting are marijuana vapes, THC vapes. The good news is I haven't had kids go into seizures from THC vapes. The bad news is some of the THC vapes are 70-80% marijuana. I mean THC, whereas 60s, 70s were 6, 7, 8% THC. Now through engineering we got 18, 19, 20% THC. Well, through YouTube you can boil it down, you can get it up to 70, 80% THC. That's crazy, right? You're just going to see your kids looking at you like an alien. Their eyes are going to be spinning. It is that bad. This year, 1 5th grader with a regular vape, 1 5th grader with a marijuana vape. Okay? Have you guys seen commercials about no vaping? Me neither. Right? Part of that is the marijuana industry has a lot of money into pro-marijuana. And anybody who's against marijuana, they send their marijuana mob after. If you want to see a cool marijuana mob, watch my Facebook page. When I post anything about marijuana, the marijuana mob comes after me. Right? I was like, hey, 3-year-olds shouldn't, smoke a joint and drive. Like, you don't know that? I'm going to sue you. You're not a doctor. Right? I'm like, I carry a taser, come at me, bro. But it is that bad, so people are afraid. So now we're not seeing the education in marijuana because they are afraid of that marijuana law. And that is truer than you can even imagine. Prescription